Hey guys, what's up? Bisectatron here from OneHive Gazette, and in this video, I'm talking about one of my theories that Supercell actually in some ways likes the fact that people are modding in clan wars. And my main reason for thinking this is that modding allows Supercell to kind of neglect the war community. It lets them focus more on trophy push, farming updates, that kind of stuff. So I'll explain that in just a moment, but the first thing that we have to understand is the fact that Supercell hasn't really added a lot to Clan Wars since it came out. Really, I mean they've added clan levels, clan perks, not really stuff we Clan War community was asking for, but it kind of got added. It's kind of nice. The perks don't really help that much besides for farming and trophy pushing, ironically, but it's something that they kind of added to Clan Wars, so we'll take it. It's kind of cool, I guess. But besides that, haven't gotten arranged matchups, haven't really gotten, mini Clan Wars, any kind of extension of it or anything. And instead, Supercell has kind of focused their attention on trophy pushing and farming to some extent. So if you just look at the new update, the big ClashCon update, they added all this new game balancing stuff like shields and town halls and stuff, and everyone kind of agrees that was necessary, but it obviously was there to help the trophy pushing sector of the game just because it was so broken before. Town hall sniping, town hall fives could get way up there if they spent enough time. So it wasn't as if it was like something for the whole community, really. It was mainly just to balance out trophy pushing. You look at the village guard, that kind of stuff. Um, it's not something that was added just for every person in the game. It's really more for that high up level, and it does balance kind of the lower levels to some extent, but it's really there for trophy pushing, and that goes hand in hand with Town Hall 11. That's also to keep the game at the highest level for trophy pushing fresh and to add a new dimension to it. And obviously, war kind of gets the aftermath of all this. Like, this stuff will also affect war, but the reason it's being implemented is to balance trophy pushing. It's not really to try to balance out war to any extent. And you can see in this update with the new 30 seconds, with the new donated spell, all that stuff's kind of actually hurting war. It's not helping it. So it's not as if that this stuff's being added to balance the whole game. It's mainly there for trophy pushing, and then war just kind of gets the backlash of it to some extent. But the reason modding comes into this at some point is because it kind of keeps war dynamic. So if you think about Super Queen and Queen Walks, mainly these Queen Walks in war, that's something that was pretty much everyone agrees was developed by people who are modding. So modders keep the game dynamic. They keep coming up with new stuff. The game would obviously progress slower if there weren't modders because there's just less attacks. There's not enough time to experiment. So we'd be way less developed than we are now. And I think most people think that's a good thing. It's better to be a little less developed but have no modding. But anyway, the modding allows the war community to keep progressing. It adds new stuff for people to learn. So in a way, the modders are kind of like adding new stuff to get to the war scene, so Supercell doesn't have to. And that's why I think Supercell enjoys the game developing that way, because basically in Supercell's mind, trophy pushing is more broken than war, and you can kind of agree with that because war is constantly developing. Modding is bringing new aspects of the game. Like I said, Queen Walk, for example, it's bringing in these new things to keep the war dynamic. Whereas trophy pushing, it was so broken. There was 3-hour searches, all kinds of ridiculous stuff to be a top level trophy pusher. So in Supercell's mind, and you can't really blame them, the trophy pushing was more, and it still is, more important to be edited and developed than war at the moment. Just because, in the war community, the main problem is that a few town hall levels aren't as balanced, which is true, especially Town Hall 10, and it hasn't gotten much better. But for trophy pushing, in their mind it's so more broken than war is at the moment. So that's why they're trying to focus on their trophy pushing, trying to get that balance at the top level, because in their mind war will always kind of balance itself. I mean, there's always two equal clans going against each other. Obviously modding complicates that, but in their mind it's pretty much always two equal clans going against each other, and it's just two attacks for each person. So it's a lot more balanced, I guess you could say, than trophy pushing at the moment. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on it. Yeah, like I said, you can't really blame Supercell for doing this, but I think they obviously like how modding affects war, because had there been no modding, the game would kind of be stagnant more often, and that would basically make it so that people in the war community would be asking for updates more. They'd be needing new content to keep them playing, whereas modding kind of allows for that new feature to be implemented, that new strategy, that kind of stuff. So it keeps the war scene developed and dynamic. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And yeah, that'll do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the attacks in the background, and I'll see you guys later. Bisectatron out.